Emirates Airlines business class has always been one of those intriguing business class that I wanted to fly. And as soon as I got this opportunity in early 2024, I jumped on it. This was a flight from Milan, Italy to New York's JFK Airport. The flight number EK Echo Karma 205 takes around 9 hours from Milan to New York's JFK Airport. It is a day flight, so you get enough time to try all the amenities, food, the seat itself, and everything that comes with a typical business class experience. Especially when it's on an Airbus A380, it becomes extra special. So today we'll have a look at all these amenities, how the seat is, how the food is, how the service and overall quality of service was, and of course we'll try the onboard bar that is very unique to Emirates and is actually one of the best bars in the air. So let's get started. With that, it was time to board our plane. The Emirates lounge at Milan airport is nothing special. It's a typical airport lounge. As soon as you board, you will notice the cabin. This is the first look at the cabin of the business class. This was right before Emirates had refurbished their business class, so it looks a little old, but the seat style and the overall the way the seats are configured, that remains the same. This was one-to-one configuration. Typically, some of the newer planes of Emirates have that configuration. Some of the planes still have that 232 dreaded configuration, the old Boeing 777s, but this one was thankfully a one-to-one configuration. It was me and my wife traveling, so we had the middle seats together, the ones that are closer to each other. So seats are separated. There are seats that are close to each other, and then there's middle seats that are not so close to each other. So if you're trying, or if you're traveling with a family member or a loved one and you want to sit together with each other, then I would recommend the seats. I believe those are the odd number seats. Here is a much more detailed look at the cabin and the seat overall. You get that famous seat bar, or they say some a few bottles of water and other soft drinks, and the sparkling water it becomes a bar. This is the light that you can use for reading that you get at your seat. They have a lot of screens. This is the small iPad or tablet that you can use to control your TV screen or the monitor. And here another look at all the drinks that you get in the mini bar. You can move this thing that blocks the bar up and down for easy access to all the drinks that you have. Definitely have a decent amount of space under the TV screen or the monitor to have your feet rested. And the seats are well connected. Again, if you're traveling with a family member or a loved one, these are good seats if you want to sit close to each other. And if you just want to avoid each other, then window seats will do the trick. Or the seats that are, I believe, even numbered seats, but I'll confirm that. This was interesting. This opens up. I don't think this was big enough to put your shoes. I don't know what else can you put there. If anyone has any thoughts or has used it for any reason, just let me know, because it was intriguing. Yep, plenty of space for someone who's 6 feet in height. I didn't feel the seat was very confined, at least towards the feet. The tray table pops out. Was a little jammed, so it took me a little bit of an effort to get it out the first time, but eventually it worked fine. And you get that usual Emirates gold bling. I think it's more accentuated in now their refurbished business class seats, but even these older ones, they had enough gold bling to know that you are on board a Emirates flight. Just having another quick look around the seat and all the different amenities and the space that you get around you. The bedding was decent. This pillow was a little flimsy, but it was okay for a day flight for sure. I don't know how I will feel about it if it's an overnight flight or a longer flight than 9 hours. The blanket was pretty thin, but did its job. I always wonder how much plastic gets wasted on these things. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I don't know what else can be done about this. You have to clean them, of course, but I wonder if there are other better ways to do it. This was the seat separator, which would come down or go up with the press of a button. In case you don't want to look at your seat partner or the person sitting next to you, you can use that. Here's a quick look at how the seat goes in the lie flat bed position. Press the button that controls and the seat will go lie flat. One intriguing thing that I noticed, I don't know if this was an issue with the seats that we had on this plane, seats were not 180 degrees flat. There was a little bit of angle towards the head, which did not feel like they were 180 degrees, exactly 180 degree flat. I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but it was interesting. As we open that plastic packaging, let's look at the blanket a little more in detail. It's always a struggle to hold your camera in one hand and then try to open these things with the other hand, and thanks to the wife, it worked out okay this time. So yep, there you go. It's your usual run-of-the-mill, okay, thin, warm blanket, which will get the job done. These seats were obviously showing their age, so it's good that Emirates has refurbished majority of their fleet, if not all of their fleet. Definitely looking forward to trying their new refurbished seats soon and see how they feel like. Again, both my wife and I were intrigued on what that little space is. These were the amenity kits that they provided. As you can see, they have separate amenity kits like Qatar also does. The His Amenity Kit and the Hers Amenity Kit. They are by Bulgari brand, so of course they are luxury branded amenity kits. And the quality of the amenity kit bags was pretty good. These are not some of the flimsy, plasticky amenity kit bags that you get in some other airlines. The kits were also very well and decently stocked. The dental kit has its own bag, as you can see here, with the toothbrush and the toothpaste in it. And then there were a number of different lotions and potions that you typically get in all the amenity kits. Some of them smell pretty good, so I still have a couple of these items. And this was an interesting piece, which I don't think many other airlines do, but the Gillette shaving foam that they provided came in handy during the trip, that's for sure. And a razor. It would be weird if they just provided the shaving cream and no razor, so it was good that both of those things were in the amenity kit. And as you can see, it was nice branded. Gillette is a pretty good brand, so that was nice. But this was intriguing that usually don't get it in other amenity kits. And then back to the different creams and lotions that you will see in other amenity kits as well. And this comb was pretty cool as well. I think this is also unique to Emirates. I like how it has these two different styles of combs in one, and how it's like you can kind of collapse it or keep it stored. This was a cool item to put in an amenity kit. Other airlines should take note of it as well. And more body lotions. Have a huge number of amenity kits now. I'm always intrigued. What are people doing with these amenity kits when they start collecting too many of them? Share your thoughts in the comments on what exactly do you do? Do you just give it to family and friends? Sell it on eBay? I don't know. What other thoughts or ideas can you give me? So do share your thoughts in the comments on what can we do when we have too many amenity kits. And this was nice as well, a deodorant, which again, not a lot of other airlines have in their amenity kits, so it was nice to see that as well. It's almost like they were giving you an amenity kit for their first class, which has a shower in it, because a lot of these items can only be used, or should be used in a shower. Oh, one day, I wish we had the access to the shower, but yep, one day. And this was the Hers amenity kit. Again, the brand by Bulgari. A lot of the same type of items, but you will see some differences between how the items were packaged. Or branding was still Bulgari, of course, but the fragrances and some of the other things were different. Like this deodorant was pink versus blue for his amenity kit. And then all the different fragrances, the colognes and perfumes. And making sure you don't forget that it's made in Italy. The lip balm, and I think this was the same in both the amenity kits. And then the different body lotions, these were also the same, I believe, in both his and hers amenity kits. This was definitely one of the better amenity kits as compared to the other flights that I have taken. I used to love the Away branded amenity kits provided by United in their Polaris business class. They don't offer that anymore, those little suitcase style Away amenity kits. But this is a good amenity kit, especially with the contents in it. The bag or the pouch itself was nothing special. Definitely good quality, but not any different than the other airlines. But yeah, the contents were definitely much better than most of the other airlines. And the other thing that was different was this tiny mirror in the Hers amenity kits. What's your favorite amenity kit in business class or first class for that matter? I would say that Away suitcase style United Polaris amenity kit still remains my favorite amenity kit. Tell me what's yours in the comments. Alright, next time for looking at the slippers. This is one good thing about the Middle Eastern carriers and some of the Asian carriers as well, that you don't have to ask for these type of things. Because I know in United and in American to some extent, I think you have to ask, and if they have it, they'll give it to you. Otherwise, they'll just laugh at you like, huh, slippers? These were also pretty decent quality, soft slippers, and they had those elastic things at the back which fit at the back of your feet. So that was nice. And this was weird that they put the eye patch with the slippers in the same packaging. I don't know, there was enough space in the amenity kits. For whatever reason, they put those eye masks in the same package with the slippers, which was a little strange to me. Now after the slippers, it would be nice to look at the loungewear as well. They looked at my height and gave me the large, extra large size loungewear. They all come in this bag. Once you take out of that bag, you'll see it has like a shirt and pajama set. Again, the struggle of having a camera in one hand and opening the bags with the other hand continues. The pajamas were pretty soft. The entire set was really soft, very thin but soft. It was overall decent quality. I don't think I brought them home. It felt too flimsy, I think, or too thin. But otherwise, they were good for the duration of the flight, so you can relax, sit around, take a nap, walk around. It's good enough for that. For some reason, whenever I think of the best onboard loungewear that I've received so far, Virgin Atlantic comes to my mind. Qatar is pretty decent as well, but Virgin Atlantic has been my favorite so far. While waiting for the food, I decided to change into my pajamas and walk around the onboard bar a little bit. It's a really nice space to sit and hang around and talk to strangers if you're not an introvert. I liked how they have these window shades. They'll open up or reduce the amount of shade or amount of light that you need to get in or want to get in. So this is always a cool feature in planes that I enjoy. Makes me feel like a kid again. Next time I'm going to make sure I have a window seat. But there's a decent amount of space here. This sofa, couch, whatever you want to call it, has plenty of space for 5-6 people to sit, and they all have the seat belts as well. There was a portion of the flight when we were sitting here, there was a little bit of turbulence, so you could use the seat belt, and there'll always be some snack trays for you to help yourself. With that, let's have a look at the menu for the drinks and the food options that Emirates offer on their business class on this route. The menu definitely offers plenty of options for everyone and anyone to choose from. But this is where my experience got a little salty, no pun intended. We'll get to that once the food service begins. But let's have a look at what the different drink options Emirates has on offer. If you're a fan of hard drinks, of course, you'll have a great time on Emirates business class, and more so if you're flying on Emirates first class because of all the quality of champagnes and other drinks that they have on offer. But even in business class, their cocktails and their drinks menu is pretty extensive, so you will have a lot of options to choose from, as you can see here. Plenty of different options that you can help yourself, or on the bar you can sometimes help yourself, but you'll have to order these options with the service attendants. I'm a teetotaler, so this is not my expertise, but my wife had a couple of drinks and she said they were all pretty good. I did have some of the non-liquor drinks and they were pretty good as well, and the coffee with oat milk is always a great option for someone like me whenever it's available. Coming to the food, the makboos was a really good option. It's almost similar to the biryani or the paella. Has a little bit of a different texture and taste for sure. So when I'm flying in a Middle Eastern airline and if they have makboos, that's always my go-to. But you had plenty of options as for appetizers, the tomato soup, the Arabic mezze, the traditional style, the prawn appetizer, the beef fillet, and the fried chicken and the prawn makboos for the entrees. And then the various dessert options, including the cheese board, which has kind of become a standard but is something that I always not a big fan of in dessert for whatever reason. And if you're feeling sleepy or you don't feel too hungry or filled yourself in the lounge, then you have the option of the light bites as well, which you can always tell the flight attendants and they will help you with that. And this is what you can have in the lounge or the bar area. They have different sandwiches. There's a fruit basket. You can help yourself with different fruits that are available and then some sweets that are available here. And then we started with the food service, which started with the drink and the warm nuts that came with the drink. These were nice and warm. And this was the appetizer, the traditional Arabic mezze. This is where some of the issues started. The pita that came with the mezze was pretty cold. It was not warm at all. And then they, for some reason, forgot to give me the bread basket, which I had to ask, I think, 3 times. And then eventually it came after I was finished with my food. So the service was not very attentive. This was the tomato soup, which was pretty good. This is what my wife had. She only had the tomato soup, the prawn appetizer, and then the dessert. She got her bread with the soup, but I never got my bread or the basket. And this is the makboos, which was nice and flavorful. Had some good sauces, some dry fruits, and overall really nice flavors and texture to it. And then finally the dessert. This was some sort of a chocolate dessert, which was nice. Probably the best thing in the overall meal, which is not the greatest thing sometimes when dessert is the best meal of all the 4 courses. So this was a bit of a disappointment from what I expected a lot more. And Emirates definitely is way far behind Qatar as far as my experience is concerned so far. And right after the food, let's have a quick look at the bathroom. This is your standard Airbus A380 bathroom that Emirates has on their planes. This was a decent amount of space, nothing too big, nothing special. You had enough space to change into your pajamas, do your business in the bathroom. They kept it clean and well stocked, so I'll give them a positive on this side of the service for the flight attendants. And they had the dental kits and few other things stocked there as well. And you of course cannot miss the usual Emirates bling in the bathroom as well. The details were nice overall. A reasonable bathroom that you would expect. And they actually had another bathroom which was a different configuration and much brighter. So this is the look at the other bathroom that Emirates had on this plane. Again, all your standard stuff. The napkins, the tissues, and the usual gold bling. It was a nice touch to have these flowers that they had in the bathroom, along with the different colognes and perfumes that they keep. So this was a decent touch. And of course the window. Always like it when you have a view from the loo. It's good to look at the wings of this big bird while you're doing your business. This was definitely the better of the 2 bathrooms. If I have a choice or a preference, other than doing your usual business, this would be something that you can pick up if you have choices of bathrooms on board. And this is a quick look at the food that I had before arrival into JFK. This was some sort of pasta, which was pretty average, to be honest. It lacked a lot of flavor. The taste was not that great. Here's a detailed look at the onboard bar. This is a really good space, as I mentioned earlier, to hang out and just talk to strangers or just spend some time here. This is unique to Emirates A380. I know Virgin Atlantic has a really small bar area as well, but this is a proper bar. You can also request the flight attendants to take your Polaroid photos as well, that they will print it for you right on the spot. But again, a good spot to have few drinks, some snacks, and just hang out and talk to different people. And the flight attendants are always helpful for any specific drink needs that you might have here. It's a fun spot to hang out, that's for sure. Pretty unique. As far as the price for this flight is concerned, this was booked by me when the Emirates flights were bookable via the Aeroplan Air Canada program, and I had spent around 60,000 aeroplane points plus roughly around $600 in taxes and fees. This was because I did not have enough aeroplane points at that point. And with that, let's do a quick conclusion of this overall flight. Again, I had mixed feelings of about this flight. I was really looking forward to the Emirates business class experience, and then when I had it, I was left a little confused. The seat was okay, the overall service was lacking, the flight attendants were not very attentive, and just the overall lack of attention from the flight attendants and delay in most of the services was something that I did not expect. And maybe that was just crew specific issue. But overall, I definitely look forward to flying Emirates business class again just to see if my experience will be any different from this. But as of now, I'll have to put Qatar above Emirates as the overall better business class. Seat is, of course, better, but the overall service is definitely better as well. What are your thoughts about it? Have you tried Emirates Business Class on any route? And how was your experience and how did it compare to Qatar or other Middle Eastern carriers? Do share your thoughts. Thank you.